background was primarily in real estate, mortgage finance. I was Senior Deputy Director for Fannie Mae for the state of Nevada. Fascinating job, real interesting things that I was working on. But unfortunately, when the economy changed, the office was closed, and I needed to look at a full change of careers. So here I am. The fact that I was with a major corporation, a trillion-dollar corporation that closed their office, and I had no control over my future, I wasn't very interested in going to work for another company, and I felt like I needed to work for myself to have control over my future. I didn't want to buy a job where I had to have a storefront with set hours. I didn't want a lot of employee issues. I wanted something that would be recession-proof, that would actually be a business that I could grow in a bad economy. And healthcare is really one of the very few parts of the economy that is able to grow in this environment. So it made sense that this was the choice I'd make. Actually, no, the majority of the offices that we've started doing billing for are outsourcing their billing already. We're seeing that a lot, and they're extremely unhappy. I hear the same complaints consistently from every office we talk to. They're outsourcing their billing. They are losing control of their accounts receivable. They have no idea when the claims are being filed, and when they do find out that the claims have been filed for them, it's usually 6 weeks after they submitted them. They're being done offshore. They send them to India, to other countries to do. They don't get them the financial reporting on what the status of their accounts receivable are. So they really feel like they've lost control of their accounts receivable. And by switching over to our system, utilizing our services, we give them complete transparency where they know exactly the status of their accounts receivable. When the economy's good, doctors need their money. When the economy's bad, doctors really need their money. And when you add to that the fact that we do profit recovery and other services, it's just expanded the need for our services beyond where they were when I first started. So no, the economy has, if anything, it's almost a positive effect rather than negative. My biggest fear changing industries was that I was going to sound like I was ignorant or an idiot when I walked in to talk to a medical office. I didn't want to look like I didn't know what I was doing. The fact that we learned so many different methods of marketing, and I could find what fit well with my personality and build on my strengths rather than trying to be someone I'm not. First account, I started the first of the month. And my first account, I had a signed agreement on the 31st, so it took exactly a month. I got that account through a networking contact. I was sitting next to an individual that had a concierge service at lunch, at a Chamber of Commerce luncheon. And she happened to have a friend who was a medical doctor who was having a real problem with her accounts receivable. She introduced me to the doctor. It turns out the doctor and I had some various other things in common, so it gave us some common ground to start with. And then she became comfortable after 2 or 3 meetings. It took 2 or 3 meetings with her for her to get to a point where she was ready to switch over. She had a different billing service. She gave them notice, and once she did that, then the billing service dropped her immediately, said, if you're not going to have us anymore, we'll stop today. So when I met with her to get the signed agreement, she gave me a stack of claims to start processing for her, and we jumped right in. I just don't see any limit to it. We can be anything we want to be. If I want to have a small business where I just have, you know, kind of a few accounts that I manage personally, I can do that. If we want to grow to a multi-million-dollar corporation, we can do that and bring in all sorts of additional support services. There really is, it's just whatever I decide I want it to be. There is no limit.